Natalie, I don't know what you had to say about JD Vance. There's so much that we're going to talk about even when you're gone, but what I want to pop out there with JD Vance is that his name is not JD Vance. His name is like James Bowman or something. That's his actual name, his birth name. So, we know how they feel about, creating your own names and pronouns and shit. So no one referred to him as JD Vance. And also, what I want to mention about JD Vance is only 39 years old. First off, he looks way older. He's 39. And he has been in politics for a grand total of like 3 years. He first won election 3 years ago, which has really got to piss off like Tim Scott and Doug Burgum. Can you imagine?
Tim Scott got married for this.
God, I know, right? I know. Oh God, like some fucking like baby they just pulled up who's been in politics 10 minutes. Oh, it's gonna chop him so bad. What you gotta say about JD there, Natalie?
Oh, I just hate him. Like I just wanted it to be very clear on the record how I feel about this person. I mean, there are very few people that I reserve that word for, truly. But my gosh, is he just disgusting? I mean, first of all, he's a liar, right? He's a racist. He's a misogynist. He's xenophobic. There is
Natalie, we know he's a Republican, but what do you hate about him?
5 points, John. That was great. Oh, that was great.
All right, John wins the day for that one. I think what really bothers me about all of this is I'm just going to come back with the confidence of a mediocre white male because they just seem to fail up, man. Like this guy, like you said, TJ, he has been in politics for a hot minute and he gets to be in this position. Like
insane.
It wouldn't happen to any other kind of person. Like it just wouldn't. And of course it's the Republican Party. I mean, this guy, the idea that he could be close enough to have his finger on the nuclear.
Are you a racist?
Like that freaks me out. Trump is old as fuck too. There's a good chance he could die in office if he's reelected. And then we're stuck with this guy. Are you kidding me? No, thank you. This man wants women to stay in abusive relationships. He doesn't believe in any exception for abortion, for the life of mother, anything. This guy is trash and we need to take him out with the rest of the garbage, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love it. And you mentioned like who would be in this? I was trying to think of, has anyone been nominated to the vice presidency this young? I think of one example, and I only know because of what happened. Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt was around 40 years old when he got the vice presidency, but he was already like governor of New York. Right. He was the colonel that led the Rough Riders. Like, the guy had a hell of a resume. Like JD Vance wrote a book shitting on his family and everything, and all of a sudden they love him. And I wanted to share that you mentioned that he was a racist, and
I did.
I don't know if you saw this, but JD Vance would like to ask you guys a question.
Oh.
Are you a racist?
I don't know if you saw that. JD Vance
is he asking himself a rhetorical question?
I know, right? It's a clip I love.
Are you a racist? Do you hate Mexicans?
Wow.
I think the Republicans got their guy. I think they got, like you said, John. He's a Republican. We all know it.
Wait, TJ, play that out. I need to hear how. I need to know where this is going.
Suspense. Yeah, where is it?
Okay, hold on.
This narrative going?
Yeah, so it's a campaign ad, as you saw. Let me find it up here. JD Vance.
What's the call to action? Is it? Are you a racist? For me, it can't be that.
Not, let me share some campaign ideas with you. Hold on here.
Are you a racist? Do you hate Mexicans? The media calls us racist for wanting to build Trump's wall. Joe Biden's open border is killing Ohioans. With more illegal drugs and more Democrat voters pouring into this country, we will put America first.
The open border with Mexico is killing Ohioans.
Yep, that's my favorite part.
They're getting all the way up to Ohio.
It is wild how they say that shit. It is wild. Like a state, you couldn't be closer to the middle of the country than Ohio or Iowa. Yeah, I don't know. It's like you saw like I remember this interview years ago. They asked this couple like, "What's your main concern?" Like, we're concerned about illegal immigration. Like, okay, well, where do you live? Well, we live in Minnesota. Like, okay, all right. The southern border is really worried because I know, it's kind of wild now. Oh, I haven't read the comments, but Kyle says he actually doesn't answer the question with a definitive no. True, he never.
No,
He's like, he says, "Are you a racist?" The media thinks we are. Like, okay, odd. Okay, maybe there's a reason for that.
No, I am just blown away. How just low. Every time I think we've hit the basement or like we can't get any lower, it's like, oh no, there's a new level of hell just waiting for us. And there he is, awaiting us. And the whole conversation around immigration, I just had a woman, Melanie Boyer, on my show today, and she runs the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce here in Pittsburgh. And we talked a lot about the negative rhetoric around immigration and just how offensive, to so many Americans to hear an elected official say this kind of disgusting, divisive, violent rhetoric. And I just find it so ironic that they were all saying that we needed to tone it down over here. The Democrats were the ones creating all of this, negative talk. And meanwhile, they're openly asking for people to act on their racist tendencies. And I just find it so disturbing that this man is in any position of authority. He's not fit to be on a school board, let alone vice president of the United States. And we need to really figure out what we're doing here, because this is not okay. Yeah, I mean, look at this. It's disgusting. And, our country is losing population year over year. And we need immigrants. We absolutely need people to come here and be a part of the fabric of this nation like they always have been. And it's just infuriating to me that this narrative continues to be spun out and that people are choosing this arbitrary and false sense of security over community. It's disgusting.
I agree. All right. Well, Natalie, we're going to continue to dunk on JD Vance.
I'm sorry to go. It's my new favorite thing to do. Get used to.
Well, I was going to say, hopefully we can do it again. Hopefully, I mean, JD Vance doesn't win. We're going to be forced to talk about him as vice president or, God forbid, president for the next 4 years. But
the conversation ends in November, and we never
exactly. Right. But yeah, we appreciate you coming on, Natalie, as always, and come back anytime. All right. So, John, let's talk more about JD Vance here. What do you think? So do you remember hearing about JD Vance years ago? When I mentioned that he wrote a book shitting on his family, for those you don't know, the book was called Hillbilly Elegy. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, no, I had heard of Hillbilly Elegy independently of JD Vance. I didn't realize he wrote Hillbilly Elegy until this news cycle. I didn't realize it was the same dude. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so Hillbilly Elegy was, what's funny? When like words get crossed in your brain sometimes, for some reason I knew it was Hillbilly Elegy, but my thought is Hillbilly Eulogy. That's what I think whenever I hear it. And I was like, oh yeah, it's elegy, which like for those of you who don't know, eulogy is like a funeral speech and elegy is like a poem or something like that. They're two very different things,
Hillbilly
which I guess
elegy is a fire title. That is a very, very, very good title for a book. I got to give credit where credit's due, of course.
Yeah. And so I haven't read the book. I think it's a movie too, but I haven't. Okay. Have you seen the book or read the movie?
Haven't read the movie or seen the book.
No. Never seen the book. Yeah. Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I didn't even catch it, but yeah. But from what I could gather, it's just about life in Appalachia and how these people are downtrodden and how the system's against them. But overall, if they just worked hard, they could work their way out of it. Because I guess he was born to like these the dregs that he keeps talking about in the book or whatever, and he like worked his way up. He went to Yale or something, and he's got an Ivy League degree, and now he's in politics and everything. And it's just about how if you can be conservative, you can take all these good old country values and rise yourself to the top, and people need to stop complaining. That's kind of what I got from this, and it's more just what do you do? I saw a bunch of these guys went to Yale. It was like Ron DeSantis and JD Vance, and just a bunch of these Republicans that went to the Bushes is kind of weird.
Yeah, so I want to like just harp on what you just mentioned there with like, oh, these people, if they just worked hard, they can improve their station in life.
Mm-hmm.
And JD Vance is an example of that. He wasn't born into luxury and wealth. I hesitate when people make fun of JD Vance for being an idiot, because I don't think he is. And that's what scares me about JD Vance. If you look at Jason Stanley's 10 Pillars of Fascism, which is something I made a TikTok about the first 5 pillars and how it applies to Trump. I'm currently making one about the second 5 pillars. And the last one, 10, is Arbeit macht frei, which is a German saying. And essentially what it's saying is, they are lazy and undeserving. We are hardworking. And you see this appeal to work ethic all the time in fascist regimes. And it's a populist appeal, but it's bullshit. Like, yeah, some people can work hard and get out of there, but not everyone can. And it becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy where, oh, the people who are successful must be because they worked hard and they deserve their success. And the people who are unsuccessful must be because they didn't deserve their success. It's kind of that prosperity gospel. The same kind of idea. And I see JD Vance as a very intelligent person who is very intentionally leaning into these hyper-conservative trappings for the sake of implementing fascism. And I think that is the scariest part of this pick for Trump, because it's a terrible VP pick electorally.
It really is.
A really, really stupid one. There were options that were very loyal to Trump. Like, if Trump is valuing loyalty above all things and wants to make a more electorally sound pick, Tim Scott's sitting right there. He's obviously very loyal to you. He would cut his own dick off for Donald Trump, I'm pretty darn sure. But like, JD Vance is this is someone who is even farther right than I am. He is more socially conservative. And I don't think it's real. I don't think he believes in his heart of hearts these things. I think he knows that these things can give him the kind of power that he wants. And that's what really scares me about JD Vance. I do think he is the scariest pick that Trump could have possibly chosen.
Shit. Oh, okay. I thought my mic was muted. But yeah, JD Vance, the pick didn't make sense to me either. I'm still trying to figure out why he thought of choosing JD Vance, because you're right. Like, we talked about the potential choices for Trump's VP, and I stood by most of the choices, and Vance would be lumped in with these, didn't necessarily help Trump, but I don't think are really going to hurt him. I just don't think that a lot of people are.
I think Vance actively hurts them.
I don't think anyone who was going to vote for Trump is going to look at JD Vance like, oh my God, look how anti-abortion this guy. I don't know. I just don't think there's a lot of people like that. Maybe there's a few, but he's also from a red state. It's not going to matter. It's not like he's going to get anything there. I thought there were picks that could definitely help him. Like Nikki Haley would have been a pick that would have helped him, but everybody else I kind of lumped together. And with Vance, you mentioned it doesn't even pass the loyalty one either. You could see Trump picking someone. Okay, this person's going to help me. They're going to help. I may not like them, but I may need to secure a certain group, like Pence with the evangelicals, which is funny that the evangelicals love Trump way more than Pence now. It's kind of funny how that worked out. Fuck you, Mike Pence. But with JD Vance, it's not even the loyalty thing. I was trying to pull it up over here, but a few years ago when Trump ran for office, JD Vance was shitting on him all the time. Do you remember that? He was just, he literally called him Hitler. Yeah, and this goes into what you were saying, that JD Vance isn't dumb like your standard idea of what a right winger is. Like he's an opportunist. He sees a lane, he's going to take it. Now he thought the lane of reasonable, calm, rational Republican. His roommate, I was trying to find it. I don't know if you saw the Twitter feed from his roommate in college, but he's talking about, JD Vance was actually a pretty cool guy back in the day. He was a decent dude. They mentioned how they had like a trans friend or something, and JD Vance was like really close with them, and like they got hurt, and he would bring them food after surgery and stuff. And that's the guy, I think that's the guy he was texting when JD Vance said Trump was Hitler. And that was a few years ago, but now he's like, I don't recognize the guy anymore. The guy is completely, he said he's literally drunk the Kool-Aid was the quote. So yeah, I agree. Vance isn't, he's evil, but he's not stupid, which I think makes him dangerous.
Yeah, let's look at the timeline here, TJ. In 2016, he's calling Trump Hitler. He is accurately assessing how dangerous Donald Trump is. Fast forward, he writes Hillbilly Elegy. Trump really likes it. Trump liked JD Vance before he was ever in politics because he read Hillbilly Elegy and really liked it. And then JD Vance takes a look around and he sees Biden sitting there in the presidency. He makes the same assessment we did, TJ, that Biden would be a weak candidate in 2024 and the Democrats really shouldn't run him. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to get myself into Congress in 2022, and I'm going to be very, very pro-Trump because I know as long as I'm pro-Trump, I will have power as long as Trump has power. And I think that Trump is going to have power. He accurately assessed that Trump was Hitler. He accurately assessed that Biden was an incredibly weak candidate, and he made a goddamn business decision, TJ. And he was like, I'm going to go all in on this. And I think that, you know, as you said, he said those things, but I think that's what Trump values. I think Trump values that, he's going to just fundamentally go against his own personal beliefs and kiss my ring. I think that's more valuable to Trump than someone like a Marjorie Taylor Greene, where it's like, she's just all right, guys, you made it to the end of the episode, which means you are one of our favorite viewers. Thank you so much. And with any luck, we're recording this on Thursday. Maybe Biden has already stepped down right now. And if he has, you better be commenting, liking, subscribing, and everything about how happy you are to see it. If you guys enjoyed listening to our wonderful guest this week, I'll let her tell you where you can find her other places.
I have them tongue-tied, you know. Hey, everybody, I'm Natalie Bencivenga. You can find me at Natalie Bencivenga on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok. I have a website, nataliebencivenga.com. You can also check me out on the radio, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA here in Pittsburgh. And if you're outside of Pittsburgh, go to kdkaradio.com and you can stream it live or play it back. I talk about all these things, and I got to get both of these guys on my show. So stay tuned for that.
Fantastic. We appreciate the offer there, Natalie. We'll join as soon as we can. Thank you guys for watching the show, and we would like to welcome you all to the Neo K Hive. We are glad to have you here, and we are going to go strong. Kamala's our mamala. Catch you next time.